Good morning, it's James. I do hope and pray that this message finds you and your loved ones peaceful, thriving, and well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I'm deeply grateful to have the honor and the blessing of laying eyes on you today. And I'm often asked, where do these messages that we share when we get together, where do they come from? Well, every message that I do is a message that I need to hear too. I share messages that I'm wanting to learn about, I want to remind myself of, I want to deepen my practice to. And I have a pretty strong feeling that the things that I'm working on, that I'm learning, that I'm holding in my heart are things that you are too. So today we're going to talk about boundaries. And there's a beautiful quote from Prentis Hemphill, who's a writer, an artist, an activist, who once wrote, "Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and love me simultaneously." Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and love me simultaneously. Now, that comes from Atlas of the Heart, Brené Brown's book. And I want to share with you today that obviously we could spend a whole bunch of time talking about boundaries when it comes to more, intimate partners, husbands or wives, partners, lovers, family members, close friends, those circles. I want to talk about the boundaries that we have with the world at large and how much we have to be mindful about how much do we want to be out there or allow what's out there to come in here before it's too much. How do we love ourselves enough to set healthy boundaries every single day? And what are some of the things that we can be doing to help fortify what we need to have around us? Call it a firewall, call it just a mindful knowing that there's only so much that we are going to allow to come in or allow ourselves to go out, knowing that there's only so much that we can do before we lose ourselves and cross over that place when we get lost. One of the things that I'm very clear about these days is that there's never a moment where I don't know that there's so much more I could be doing. The Stoics once said, celebrate your ignorance and know that's one of your greatest source of peace is not having to know or to do everything about something that has nothing that you can do about. Wow. It's like, do you ever look at the news these days and say, what can I do about that? And I look at the bumper stickers when I was a little kid. What was it? Think globally, act locally. These kinds of experiences. I think we all know there's lots for us to do, but there's only so much that we can do. We have to really give ourselves permission to set boundaries that give us the opportunity to continually fortify our mind, our bodies, our emotions, our spirit. So when it's time to go out there and be an activist, we're doing it from a place of strength, a centeredness, a knowing. And we're not doing it in a sacrifice that really gets us to be a place that we are at odds with ourselves. No, we are in alignment with our highest self. And I think that's really why I do look to the mornings, doing what we're doing, giving ourselves a few minutes to connect and remind ourselves about how it is that our self-care practices, the way that we love ourselves, is all a part of boundaries, physiological, emotional, spiritual boundaries. The more that we love ourselves, the more that we practice self-care, the more that the boundary is fortified. So we have an awareness, we have a knowing of where we are in relationship to pushing up against what we know is no longer healthy for us, and giving ourselves permission to say, I'm going to retreat back to where I know I have to go back into the place where I heal, where I get whole again, where I feel strong, so I can again go out in the world and do what I love to do. Be a force for change. Be a demonstration of possibility. Be a pollinator of hope. And do this in such a way that you do it as a whole being who continually shows up day after day as an activist who fully understands the power of boundaries that have been laid in place under the influence of love, under the influence of self-care, and under the influence of what it means to truly be a heart-centered activist for love who practices from the inside out. Beautiful times to be mindful about where we are and what we need to be each and every day. Thank you for showing up the way that you do. First and foremost, for yourself. Much love. Every blessing. Bye for now.